Dad is coming home.
Bringing vengeance.
Is Hollywood finally back? Why 2026 is saving movie theaters? Hey everyone, it's Gilbert K here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to ask you one simple question. Is Hollywood finally back? For the last few years, we heard the same thing over and over again. Movie theaters are dying, streaming has won, people don't want to leave the house anymore. And to be fair, there were times when it really felt that way. Studios were delaying movies, audiences were staying home, and even some of the biggest releases struggled to fill seats. But then came 2026, something changed. People are lining up for IMAX screenings again, families are making movies nights a tradition again, friends are talking about films at work and on social media. Suddenly, going to the movies feel like an event again. So today, let's talk about why 2026 could be remembered as the year Hollywood started turning things around. Let's jump into it. Hollywood needed more than good movies. Here's something I think a lot of people forget. Hollywood didn't just need great movies. It needed movies that people felt like they had to see in theaters. That's a big difference because if someone says, I'll just wait until it comes to streaming, then the theater loses. But if someone says, I need to experience this on the biggest screen possible, that's when theaters win. And that's exactly what started happening this year. The Odyssey became more than a movie. One of the biggest stories of the year has been The Odyssey. Christopher Nolan didn't simply release another film, he created an event. People were searching for IMAX tickets weeks in advance. Friends were organizing group outings. Movie fans were planning road trips just to see it in premium formats. When was the last time you heard people talking about where they were going to watch a movie instead of simply asking when it would hit streaming? That's what makes an event film so powerful. It reminds audiences that some stories deserve the biggest screen possible. And when that happens, everyone benefits, from theaters to filmmakers to movie fans. Families came back thanks to animation. Another reason theaters are feeling live again, families. Animated movies continue to prove something very important. Parents don't just buy one ticket, they buy 3, 4, sometimes even 6. That makes family films incredibly valuable. Toy Story 5 is a perfect example. Think about it. Kids are excited because it's a new adventure. Parents are excited because they grew up with Woody and Buzz. Some grandparents even remember taking their children to earlier Pixar films. That's 3 generations sharing one experience. Streaming can't always recreate that feeling. There's something special about laughing together in a theater full of people. Music still brings everyone together. Then there's Michael. Whether you grew up listening to Michael Jackson or discovered his music later, there is no denying his global impact. Music crosses generation, it crosses culture, and that's why music-based films often become more than just movies. They become shared experiences. People leave the theater talking about the songs, the performances, and the memories they grew up with. Sometimes they even go home and start listening to those songs all over again. That's powerful. Marvel might be finding its footing again. Let's talk about Marvel. Over the past few years, fans have been pretty divided. Some loved the newer projects, others felt the studio had lost some of its magic. But now, Spider-Man Brand New Day is creating excitement again. Early buzz has been encouraging, and fans seem genuinely eager to see whether Peter Parker goes next. Whether you're a Marvel fan or not, this is important because when audiences get excited about superhero movies again, it usually brings a lot of people back into theaters. And once they're back, many of them stick around for those films too. Horror never left. Here's something Hollywood has known for years. Never underestimate horror fans. Horror movies don't always have the biggest budgets, they don't always have the biggest stars, but they almost always find an audience. Why? Because people love experiencing fear together. A jump scare is fun at home. A jump scare with 300 other people, that's unforgettable. Every scream, every laugh, every surprise, it becomes part of the experience. And that's why horror continues to be one of Hollywood's most reliable genre. The real secret isn't the movies. Now, here's where I think the conversation gets really interesting. I don't believe audiences suddenly decided they love movies more than they did a year ago. I think people were waiting for something that felt worth leaving the house for. After years of streaming, we've become used to convenience. But convenience isn't always memorable. Movie theaters offer something different. You can't pause the film. You can't check your laundry. You completely focus on one story with hundreds of other people sharing the same emotions. When everyone laughs together, when the audience gasps at the same moment, when the credits roll and people applaud, that's something streaming simply can't duplicate. Hollywood still has challenges. Now, does this mean Hollywood has solved all its problems? Not even close. Movie tickets are still expensive. Streaming isn't going anywhere. Studios still need to balance sequels with fresh ideas. Audiences are becoming more selective about what they spend their money on. And that's probably a good thing. It pushes studios to create movies that actually feel special instead of asking people to watch everything. They have to earn our attention. Why this gives me hope. As someone who loves movies, what excites me most isn't just the box office. It's hearing people say you have to see this in theaters. That sentence disappeared for a while. Now it's coming back. And I think that's great news, not just for Hollywood, not just for theaters, but for everyone who believes movies are meant to bring people together. Final thoughts. So is Hollywood finally back? I think it's moving in the right direction. 2026 has reminded us that great stories, unforgettable characters, and truly cinematic experiences still matter. People haven't stopped loving movies. They simply become more selective. When Hollywood gives audience something they can't experience anywhere else, people still show up. And that's a very encouraging sign for the future. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Hollywood is finally making a comeback? Or do you think this is just one really good year before things slow down again? Let me know in the comments below. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. And that's my Gilbert K take for Is Hollywood Finally Back? Why 2026 is saving movie theaters. Don't forget to check other episodes on my channel, on all podcast platforms for the latest films, series reviews, trailer reactions, and exclusive film industry interviews packed with tips, inspiration, and recommendations. More stories, more insights, and more movie magic waiting for you. See you next one. Until next time, Gilbert K out.